Are you thinking about to maximize export opportunities in Africa under the AfCFTA? Are you looking for where to get a detailed export market information for almost all African countries? Are you looking for the item of import in different African countries and the value of import done by different countries? Then visit the African Trade Intelligence Platform via the globaltradetwitter.com. You can have access to all this information every month for just $20 only. For more information, call this number or send an email to the email address below. Are you a professional or a businessman? Do you desire to earn dollars, euros, or pounds? Have you chosen taking your business to the world? Does it look like a daunting task? You desire to know what you need to do to get ready to go global? Do you know that there is a science behind making your product or service to go global in a successful and sustainable manner? To learn more about it, get a copy of the book titled Pivot to Go Global. A scientifically proven, tested, and trusted template for building a successful and sustainable export business. To pre-order at 53% discount, call 080-912-44449. Are you an account officer, relationship manager, or marketer in a bank? Are you struggling to meet your income and deposit targets? Are you on the verge of losing your job for non-performance? You desire a change for the better in your career. Then register for the Certified Global Trade Management Professionals from the American Institute of Extended Studies to acquire skills needed to solve import-export trade customers' problems and consequently attract the deposit and income of the transaction to your bank. Registration is currently ongoing. Call this number to register today. Are you a professional or a businessman? Do you desire to earn dollars, euros, or pounds? Have you chosen taking your business to the world? Does it look like a daunting task? You desire to know what you need to do to get ready to go global? Do you know that there is a science behind making your product or service to go global in a successful and sustainable manner? To learn more about it, get a copy of the book titled Pivot to Go Global. A scientifically proven, tested, and trusted template for building a successful and sustainable export business. To order, call 080-912-44449.
Are you a retiree? Are you an employee looking forward to retirement? Are you an agro processor, a farmer, and a manufacturer of different items in Nigeria? Do you desire to earn foreign exchange in euro, dollars, and pounds? Are you interested in expanding your market beyond the shore of Nigeria? Are you looking for how to start doing export business? Do you have an order and looking for how to go about exporting your product abroad? Then I have great news for you. Pretty Impex Trade Academy, in conjunction with American Institute of Extended Studies, brings to you from export novice to export legend. This is an export mentoring program that helps you step by step until you achieve your goal of doing a successful and sustainable export business. New enrollment is currently ongoing. The program costs $1,250 and there are flexible payment plans to fit your budget. Enroll today.
Are you thinking about to maximize export opportunities in Africa under the AfCFTA? Are you looking for where to get a detailed export market information for almost all African countries? Are you looking for the item of import in different African countries and the value of imports done by different countries? Then visit the African Trade Intelligence Platform via the globaltradetwitter.com. You can have access to all this information every month for just $20 only. For more information, call this number or send an email to the email address below.
All right. Thank you very much for joining today. Happy New Year to everyone. We'll be rounding up the AfCFTA series on Nigerian states this month. And in February, we'll be starting discussion on leveraging ICT for export market access. It's going to be another interesting episode for another, maybe a quarter. If you're yet to get the book Built to Go Global, this is a book that shows you exactly why export business fail. If you're a banker, you might want to recommend this for your customer who are trying to go into export, or even those that are in export, because the goal of the book actually is to help build a successful, but more importantly, sustainable export business. If you're also looking at getting the recorded version of this program or the previous episode, you can visit our YouTube channel, Voice of African Trade. Subscribe, like, share, drop your comment, and do not forget to click on the notification bell. We have African Export Business Platform on Telegram. If you want to get the link to this program every week, if you visit Telegram, you will get the link to this program every week. The Telegram platform makes it possible for you to be able to receive the link without having to, particularly if you're not on any of our platform or you are getting to have access to this for the very first time, that will give you opportunity to be able to have access to this program every week without having to follow up on us for the link or without having to be on any of the WhatsApp platform. So we've been to Abia, from Abia to Adamawa, from Adamawa to Akwa Ibom, from Akwa Ibom to Anambra, from Anambra to Bauchi, from Bauchi to Bayelsa, from Bayelsa to Benue, from Benue to Borno, from Borno to Cross River, from Cross River to Delta, from Delta to Ebonyi State. From Ebonyi State to Edo State, from Edo State to Ekiti State, from Ekiti State to Enugu, from Enugu to Gombe, from Gombe to Imo, from Imo to Jigawa, from Jigawa to Kaduna, from Kaduna to Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Kogi, Kwara, from Kwara to Lagos, from Lagos to Nasarawa, Niger, then the old state, Ondo, Ogun, Osun, Oyo, then Plateau, Rivers. Sokoto was the last day we dealt with. We were supposed to do Taraba last week, but the festive season will not. So we're moving Taraba to this week. So we have Taraba this week, Yobe next week, Zamfara upper week. The last Thursday of this month, we'll be doing a summary of all we have done so far. And then in February, we'll be starting a new series entirely. So we'll go on a short break. When we return, we will be starting our discussion on this state called Taraba State.
Are you a retiree? Are you an employee looking forward to retirement? Are you an agro-processor, a farmer, and a manufacturer of different items in Nigeria? Do you desire to earn foreign exchange in euro, dollars, and pounds? Are you interested in expanding your market beyond the shore of Nigeria? Are you looking for how to start doing export business? Do you have an order and looking for how to go about exporting your product abroad? Then I have great news for you. Impex Trade Academy, in conjunction with American Institute of Extended Studies, brings to you from export novice to export legend. This is an export mentoring program that helps you step by step until you achieve your goal of doing a successful and sustainable export business. New enrollment is currently ongoing. The program costs $1,250 and there are flexible payment plans to fit your budget. Enroll today.
All right. So as usual, every week, we have peculiarities, preamble peculiarities, profile potential, purchaser proposal, and the profit of export to the state. Remember, today we are looking at Taraba State. Remember, today we are looking at Taraba State. Okay, let's move on to Taraba State. On the preamble, export can help this state, Taraba State, to avoid overdependence on federal allocation. Export has the potential also of helping a state like Taraba to boost its GDP, create employment for SME, decrease dependence on domestic market, that's for the businesses in the state, and export proceed and grow revenue of the state, that's the state doing export directly. Farming and rural life become more lucrative, help the state to gain global recognition and market share. Home of creativity and innovation is the possibility from export, industrialization catalyst for the state. It can help the state to know the value of what it has as competitive advantage, leading the way for other states to follow, making the state to be independent of federal government, numerous incentives for the exporters in the state, opportunity to maximize the indices abroad, poverty eradication, helping the state to quit the league of state depending on wasting assets like oil. And you will see the way this state depends so much on oil or depend on federal allocation, and some of them cannot even survive without federal allocation. Reviving the economy of the state, slow down the number of migration, is a tax-free opportunity for exporters in the state, because if you export from Nigeria, you have access to tax-free. In fact, in today's Nigeria, CBN will give you 65 naira to $1. So you also have a lot of incentive from government, utilization of idle capacity of the companies. Viability of the state can be boosted. Wealth creation for the citizens of the state. It makes the state to extract potential products found in the state, yet for more important of competition, and zero in on the area of strength. So the question today is, what do you see in Nigeria today? What do you see in Nigeria today? What do you see in Taraba today, actually? Specifically, what do you see in Taraba today? Are you seeing unemployment in Taraba? And I'm not disputing the fact that there is unemployment in Taraba. In fact, I'll be showing you the data that reveal the fact that there is a huge unemployment in Taraba. So I'm not disputing the fact that there's unemployment in Taraba. I'm only saying that is that what you see, or poverty, or frustration? But I'm recommending that we should begin to look away from this and begin to concentrate more on farming opportunities, opportunity for mining, and of course, opportunities for population of the state. We'll go on a short break. When we return, we'll then be going into the profile of Taraba State.
Are you thinking about to maximize export opportunities in Africa under the AfCFTA? Are you looking for where to get a detailed export market information for almost all African countries? Are you looking for the item of import in different African countries and the value of imports done by different countries? Then visit the African Trade Intelligence Platform via the globaltradetutor.com. You can have access to all this information every month for just $20 only. For more information, call this number or send an email to the email address below.
Peculiarities. What are the peculiarities of Taraba State? What are the peculiarities of Taraba State? Taraba State was carved out of the former Gongola State in 27th of August 1991 by the regime of Babangida. Taraba is named after the Taraba River, which traverses the southern part of the state. Taraba State capital is Jalingo. It lies largely within the middle of Nigeria and consists of undulating landscape dotted with a few mountainous features that rise from the Cameroonian mountain, straining almost the entire length of the north, in the north and south direction to link up with the Niger River. A striking historical fact about the state is that it encompasses part of the Mambila region, which is famed as the Bantu cradle, having been occupied for some 5 millennia till date Taraba is nicknamed nature's gift to the nation, as the state is rich in culture and minerals as well as many ethnic groups. I heard there are places in this state that is like from creation, they've not been cultivated. Situation in the northeastern part of Nigeria, Taraba State occupies 54 square kilometers. Taraba State is bounded in the west by Plateau, Nasarawa, and Benue State. In the eastern border by Adamawa State and Republic of Cameroon, and in the northern border by Gombe State. And northern border by Gombe State. It lies within the middle of Nigeria, because of undulating landscape, like I said earlier. The state lies likely within the tropical zone, has a vegetation of low forests in the southern part and grassland in northern part. So pretty much having two kinds of vegetation. Mambila Plateau with an altitude of about 1,800 meters, that's 6,000 feet above sea level, which has a temperate level and has a temperate climate all year round, very cold. Rivers. River Benue, Donga River, Taraba, and Ibi are the main rivers and rise from Cameroon mountains, straining at almost the entire length of the state down to River Niger. Opportunity exists for agric, light manufacturing, healthcare, tourism, energy, and of course, in mining. The state has a land area of 56 square kilometers, has 16 local government. Population is about 3.2 million people. 3.2 million people. Vegetation is tropical savanna and subtropical highland. Major crops, millet, sorghum, and all these have potential. All these have potential for export. Cassava, groundnut, rice, yam, gum arabic, sugarcane, and cotton. Gum arabic, sugarcane, and cotton. Solid minerals: barite, diamond, talc, agate, amethyst, quartz, barite, cassiterite, calcite, bentolytic clay, bauxite, galena, gold, fluoride, graphite, quartz, uranium, topaz, sapphire, zircon. You know, when you look at all the opportunities available in Nigerian state, you cannot but wonder why on earth are some of these states said to be poor. The states are not really poor, only that the people leading the state most of the time are not interested in generating revenue. They're only interested in sharing the money. Look at the advantage of this state. Josephine says heartbreaking, very correct. I agree with you. Largest tea farm in Nigeria. So Taraba State can export tea. Taraba State can export tea. Remember, Kenya survived a lot on tea export. And that with minerals, we talked about that, has 4 million hectares of arable land, abundant arable land. And this state is borrowing. This state currently is owing over 100 billion naira. Over 100 billion naira. This state cannot fund its recurrent expenditure. And that with diverse and rich topography of tourism, excellent and favorable weather, just like we have in Jos. This state have opportunities in rice, tourism, sorghum, groundnut, fishery, hydro, maize, vegetable oil palm, and cotton. Largest farm for tea in Nigeria is located in Taraba State. Why is this state said to be poor? Look at the population. Working age, 1.8 million people. Those not in labor force, 841. Those in labor force, about 990. Unemployment rate, 31%. Unemployment rate, 31%. Let's go on a short break. When we return, we are going to be discussing the profile Debt and income profile of Taraba State.
Are you thinking about to maximize export opportunities in Africa under the AfCFTA? Are you looking for where to get a detailed export market information for almost all African countries? Are you looking for the item of import in different African countries and the value of import done by different countries? Then visit the African Trade Intelligence Platform via the globaltradetwitter.com. You can have access to all this information every month for just $20 only. For more information, call this number or send an email to the email address below.
All right. Profile. Let's look at the profile of this state called Taraba State. No state in Nigeria is poor. It's the manager that have poverty of ideas to be able to move their state forward. Poverty of ideas to be able to move their state forward. Look at the IGR of this state. 8.1 billion naira as of 2020. 8.1 billion naira. Sorry, 9.7 billion as of 2021. I was looking at 2020 figure as of 2021. 9.1 billion naira. But look at the income from federal government, 557.4. These are the reasons why, I always say, when you have a father in a home that knows that even if he does nothing, as in if he literally do sleep from beginning of the month to the end of the month, he will still take care of his family. What is the incentive to go and work? So the governors do not come in to labor to grow the economy of the state. More often than not is to share the money. And if there is not enough money to share, then the state will have to make do with what do you call it? Owing salaries. Owing salaries. So you have governors who is boasting that they are not owing salary. And I'm asking myself, are you supposed to even owe salary in the first place? But they're boasting that, no, I'm not owing any salary. Everybody has been paid, but it's from which money? From loan that have been taken. Look at the loan of this state. 102 billion naira. 102 billion naira. Let's dig deeper into Taraba State. I want you to see something. Look at the operating expense from loan repayment. And look at the gap between that and total revenue. Total revenue is 80. So there's no room for infrastructure development. No room for infrastructure development. No room whatsoever for infrastructure development. Imagine, and this is one of the states that have the lowest IGR, 14.5%. So 85% of income of Taraba State is from federal government. 85% is from federal government. IGR per capita is among the lowest, 2,700. Look at capital expenditure, 26%, recurrent 73%. Very few states in Nigeria have higher capital expenditure than recurrent. Most states, can you imagine this one? 73% just paying salary. And you also expect the state to grow. Of course, nothing will happen in such state. Nothing will happen. Most unfortunate, man. Most unfortunate. But that's the reality of our country. Now, what does budget have to say about this state? Taraba is known as the gift of the nation, home of multi-billion billion Mambila Plateau electric power, improved with physical performance ranking from 35 to 32. The state expected 21.7% growth in its revenue from 65.9 to 90 billion. IGR grew from 20%, 8.11 to 9.99 billion. The state remained highly FAC dependent. The state remained highly FAC dependent. The state remained highly FAC. This is the opinion of Bojito. Highly FAC dependent. Making up 86% of the income of this state. Taraba generated a tax revenue of 5.63 billion, which made up 57.63 of its IGR in 2021. With an IGR per capita of 2.756, the state needs to embark on far-reaching business enabling reform to better its ease of doing business, where it's ranked 35th among 36 to stimulate economic activity. IGR is so low. Taraba being one of the 6 states with negative expenditure growth, reduced its total spending from 1.3591 billion to 90 billion from 2020 to 2021. While the state decreased its overhead by 7%, it increased its personnel cost by 16% year on year. Year on year. You know, it grew its capital expenditure by 52.7%, which could signal increased investment. Now, that increase, remember, it's just about 20-something%. About what was the total investment in infrastructure? And that is with a growth of about 50%. So you can imagine what it was before. The infrastructure was about, that capital expenditure was about 26%. So imagine what it was before. That means it was very, very low before. Specifically, the state spent 1.57 billion on empowerment through agriculture, 863 million on improvement of health, 108 on enhancing skill and knowledge, 431 on housing and urban development, with health spending per capita of 1,379 and an education spending per capita of 3,000. Taraba spent below the subnational average for both health and education. The state, as at 31st of December 2021, had accumulated debt of 102 billion, ranking number 25 most indebted state among the states in Nigeria, and 4th most indebted state in the northeast. 90.5% of Taraba total debt stock is made up of debt acquired domestically, which is good for them, actually. You know, because those are incurring foreign debt now, as the exchange rate is changing, they are also experiencing the same changes in their cost. Exchange rate is changing. Not in parallel market, they are going to go through CBN because they are government, but the fact is that it has moved from 400, 410, 415 to about 440, 450. So not looking good at all. Not looking good at all. In the foreign debt, its foreign debt is about $23.5 million, making it one of the states only behind Bordeaux that has least exposed to exchange rate volatility, having recorded an estimated debt to GDP ratio of 5%, debt revenue ratio of 128, and debt service to revenue ratio of 19, the personnel cost to revenue ratio of 9.1, the state ranked number 15 in its debt sustainability. In its debt sustainability. In its debt sustainability. Now, we'll go on a short break. When we return, we will be moving on to the potential for export in Taraba State.
Are you a retiree? Are you an employee looking forward to retirement? Are you an agro-processor, a farmer, and a manufacturer of different items in Nigeria? Do you desire to earn foreign exchange in euro, dollars, and pounds? Are you interested in expanding your market beyond the shore of Nigeria? Are you looking for how to start doing export business? Do you have an order and looking for how to go about exporting your product abroad? Then I have great news for you. Creating Impex Trade Academy in conjunction with American Institute of Extended Studies brings to you from export novice to export legend. This is an export mentoring program that helps you step by step until you achieve your goal of doing a successful and sustainable export business. New enrollment is currently ongoing. The program costs $1,250 and there are flexible payment plans to fit your budget. Enroll today.
All right, potential. What is the potential of this state? And this is the crux of the matter. This is actually the goal of having this conversation. The goal is to show the status of the state and then to demonstrate afterwards what the state is capable of doing as far as export is concerned. The major occupation of Taraba is agriculture, like many other states in Nigeria. It produces cash crops like coffee, tea, groundnut, and cotton. Crops such as maize, rice, sorghum, millet, cassava, and yam are also produced in commercial quantity. In addition, cattle, sheep, goat are reared in large number, especially in the Mambila Plateau, because it's green year-round, along the Benue and Taraba Valley. Similarly, the people undertake other livestock production activities like poultry production, rabbit breeding, and pig farming in fairly large scale. Taraba State is among the leading states. Like Sokoto last week, 2 weeks ago, we discussed Sokoto. Sokoto was largest, among the largest in Africa in terms of rearing sheep and goat. So much livestock in Sokoto. So much livestock happening in Sokoto. So much livestock in Sokoto State. Okay. So we have Taraba is among the leading states. Similarly, people undertake other livestock production activity in the state, rabbit breeding and pig farming. Taraba among the leading states in production of livestock with its dairy farm at Jalingo, Gembu, and Ngoje. Community living on the bank of the river Benue, river Taraba, river Donga, river Ibi engage in fishing all year round. Other occupational activities such as pottery, cloth weaving, dyeing, mat making, carving, embroidery, blacksmithing are also carried out in various parts of the state. Most of the northern part of the state is the wood-dead savanna region, drained by River Benue and its tributaries. Mountain in the southern portion rise to more than 3,300 feet. The state population is engaged in farming, growing cassava, sorghum, millet, yam, sugarcane, corn. River fishing and herd of cattle, goat, and shipping are also economically important. In southern part of the state, Taraba and rubber trees, oil palm have been introduced. In an extreme south, the Mambila mountain region of Adamawa Plateau produces a cessate-free grassland, high land area that is highly suitable for cattle raising. Taraba State is inhabited mainly by Jukun and Mambila people, among whom there are a considerable number of Christians. I mean, this is among the Christian populated states in the north. Cottage industry in the state produce leather, goods, pottery, metalwork, dye cloth. Annual fishing festival at Ibi is a tourist attraction. Again, what are the major crops? Millet, sorghum, maize, cassava, groundnut, rice, yam, gum arabic, sugarcane, cotton. Solid minerals, barite, diamond, tag, amethyst, barite, cassiterite, calcite, bentolytic clay, bauxite, galena, gold, fluoride, graphite, quartz, rutile, uranium, topaz. Sapphire, zircon, zinc. See what this state is capable of producing. And the state is on borrowing spree. Borrow, everything. It is most unfortunate. It is most unfortunate. This is the situation you find ourselves in Nigeria, in which the governor borrowed so much that you can never imagine. So let's move on now to purchaser. Now, who are those that buy this product and what is the volume they buy? So let's start with corn, for example. Then we move to cassava. Then we do rice. Then we do groundnut. Then we do cotton. Then we do sugarcane. Countries import corn. Which countries import corn? Look at the country that can buy corn from this state. This state called Taraba State. Look at the country that can buy corn from this state called Taraba State. From Japan to South Africa, by the way, they cite the price of the corn, this volume of corn purchased in the world, for traded in the world, internationally, is 36.3 billion. And Africa is buying a lot of corn. Remember, we're discussing AfCFTA. So there is a huge opportunity in Africa for the procurement of corn. There's a huge opportunity in Africa for the procurement of corn. Mexico, Canada, Spain, Netherlands, Italy. In Africa, $3.73 billion. Egypt, Algeria, Morocco, Tunisia, South Africa, Senegal, Kenya are major buyers of this product, even within the African continent. Even within the African continent. Cassava product. Chinese, $2.11 billion, but Chinese is a major, is playing a lot in that market. Chinese is playing a lot in that market. Look at Thailand also, playing a lot in that market. Vietnam, Netherlands, Germany, France, United States and Canada. The demand in Africa for this product is very small. The demand in Africa for this product is very, very small. Very small because we all produce it. Rice. I want you to look at that demand for rice. So see what this neighboring country of Nigeria is doing in demand. So, and this country is a very small country, but it's a major buyer of rice in the world. But you and I know that rice is coming to Nigeria. You know, sometimes you want to buy rice, they will say, do you want local rice or foreign rice? I will say, come on, I don't understand. I thought foreign rice is banned. You say, you never know how far. You don't even know what is going on. What do you mean by it's banned? It's not banned anywhere. You know? It's not banned anywhere. It's not banned because there are still demand for this product in the local market. And unfortunately, the people in the sector will always tell you that currently Nigeria does not have what it takes to be able to produce enough rice for its population. So why are we both deceiving ourselves and talking like we can feed ourselves with rice? Although there was a pyramid of rice recently in Abuja, but I really do not know if that was going to be enough for us as a nation. But look at the market for rice. 24 billion. Iran, China, Saudi Arabia, Philippines, United States, Canada, Mexico, Germany, France. But look at the demand in Africa, 6 billion, and 12% of the demand in Africa is from Benin Republic. Nigeria is not on the radar because it's prohibited. Cote d'Ivoire, Cameroon, Ghana, Togo, Kenya, Mozambique, Senegal, Angola, Guinea, Somalia, Madagascar. Granite. 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 $3.19 billion. Vietnam, Indonesia, Netherlands, UK, Germany, Russia, Canada, Mexico. In Africa, the demand is small, 171 million, Algeria, South Africa, Tanzania, Kenya, Rwanda, Libya. Raw cotton. Raw cotton, 15.4 billion. China, Vietnam, Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, Indonesia, and Turkey are major importers of cotton to produce textile. In Africa, $338 million. Egypt being a major importer of cotton products. Mauritius, South Africa, Algeria, and Morocco. Sugarcane, 11.4 billion. Indonesia, South Korea, China, Japan, Iraq, Bangladesh, Algeria, Nigeria, United States, Canada, major importer of sugarcane. No. In Africa, Nigeria imports sugarcane. Nigeria also produces sugarcane. This state produce all these products we're talking about, including tea. Do you know that the market size for tea is actually about 7.7 billion? And this state is the major producer of tea, can export tea. This state is a major producer of tea. The demand for tea in the world is amazing. Imagine a market size of this magnitude. And the major exporter of tea in Africa, of course, is Kenya. Who are the major importer of tea in the world? Major importer of tea, like I said, the market is 7.7 billion. The major importer of tea in the world include Pakistan. Pakistan. Out of the $7.7 billion market, Africa is not doing badly at all. Africa is not doing badly at all. Africa is doing about 1.1. But among the export volume of tea in the world, it will interest you to know that a country like Kenya is exporting 15% out of the 7.7, out of the $7.7 billion market. Kenya owns 15% of that market. Nigeria does not have any. And the reason is obvious. The governor, like I said, did not come in with the intention of helping the state to generate more income. Most of our governors come in so that we can share the money. What an interesting country we find ourselves. They come in so we can share the money. So can you see Kenya? Kenya is the largest exporter. This is showing the export volume for tea, 7.7 billion. China is also exporting tea. Sri Lanka is exporting tea, but Kenya is exporting tea. Nigeria has what it takes to export tea. In Africa, Kenya exports 76.7% of the tea produced, of the tea exported from Africa. 76.7% is from Kenya. Nigeria is not on the radar, but there is a state in Nigeria that produces enormous tea. Let's go to the shop break. When we come back, we discuss the profit.
Are you a retiree? Are you an employee looking forward to retirement? Are you an agro processor, a farmer, and a manufacturer of different items in Nigeria? Do you desire to earn foreign exchange in euro, dollars, and pounds? Are you interested in expanding your market beyond the shore of Nigeria? Are you looking for how to start doing export business? Do you have an order and looking for how to go about exporting your product abroad? Then I have great news for you. Creating Impex Trade Academy in conjunction with American Institute of Extended Studies brings to you from export novice to export legend. This is an export mentoring program that helps you step by step until you achieve your goal of doing a successful and sustainable export business. New enrollment is currently ongoing. The program costs $1,250 and there are flexible payment plans to fit your budget. Enroll today.
So here's our proposal to this state. So let's take tea as an example. You know, when you have a value chain in which production and harvesting is done by SME, primary processing and storage, secondary processing and packaging is done by SME, marketing, sale, logistics, export, and display is done by SME, you know what we create? Inefficient value chain operator, low processing capacity and low output, few job creation, low quality and packaging, high cost of production because they can't do leverage an economy of scale, and non-competitive products in the export market. So imagine that the governor of this state partnered with a private firm to set up a tea processing factory. And SME 1 is producing, harvesting, and transporting to deliver to SME 2. SME 2 is buying from SME 1 and giving this big processing plant to process the tea in his own brand. Let me give you an example. So I'll show you a video now. If you look at my video, I'm trying to show you something. I have a tea here that I take in the office. If you look at this, this is a tea by one of our clients. He's exporting this to UK. This is a tea that have turmeric and ginger. So this is the tea, but this tea is herbal, but it could be the regular tea. So by the time I get the tea, give it to this processing plant, by the time I come back in 2 weeks, they have produced this for me and this inside. So by the time I'm coming back, I already have all this. So the idea is this: I don't have to worry about this packaging material. As a SME2, I should be worrying about marketing, sales, export, and logistics and distribution. Because this processing plant will process the raw tea into processed tea and then do my packaging for me in my own brand. So at the end of the day, the demand for on SME1 will increase. SME1 has the incentive to grow more tea. SME2 does not have to worry about NAFDAC, power, processing. They worry more on market development. This is not my idea. I've seen this done in Leicester in the UK. For those of us that travel frequently, if you go to Leicester, there's a particular factory in Leicester in the UK that this is exactly what they do. Went there for a trade mission 2015-16, and this is exact. People just bring in their raw materials. In 2 weeks, they're back to pick finished product ready for market. You know, sometimes when you see something that developed nations do to grow export, to grow trade, it's each time I do research to check up what these countries are doing, I just understand the reason why our trade is not growing. From the way we are financing, this kind of support government is giving for financing, to the processing, to the packaging, there is not enough structure. Nigeria have energy to want to do business, but there's so much constraint that the government can help to solve. And that's why we need government. There's a limit to what private sector will be able to do, because government have a lot of money. Rather than the money being wasted and stolen, you can do this. And this private company will now, government is funding it, so it will be operating at a loss. It will make profit, charge me per unit of that product. For every carton they produce for me, they charge me per unit. And then I will put a markup and export. But they will not charge me excessive amount. And the reason basically is because they only make enough profit to keep the business afloat, to pay salary and expand, not to be declaring large profit, because they want the SME to grow and create a lot of jobs. This creates efficient value chain operator, high processing capacity and high output, good quality and packaging, low cost of production because they can leverage your economy of scale because they are producing that tea for many people, only their different brand. Competitive product in the export market, increased job creation, decrease inequality, and of course, decrease insecurity as a result of decreased inequality. In order to support exporter in Taraba State, the governor can enter to Taraba State to enter export market in Africa, Europe, and America in a secure and sustainable way. The state government can do the following. The state government can partner with representative at destination to market and secure contract, set up warehouse for pickup by wholesale and retailer at destination, set up an entity agent or distributor at destination, partner with independent agent and distributor at destination, organize and sponsor manufacturers for exhibition in the export market. How can the state benefit directly from exports? So here we are using sesame seed as an example. Arable land of this state is 2 million hectares. 2 million hectares. If 25% is used to cultivate sesame seed, 522,000 hectares. At the yield per hectare of 1.5 metric tons, that's about 784,000 hectares. This is more than the whole of what Nigeria is producing right now. At a unit price of 1,300, we can generate a total profit of about $1 billion. At exchange rate of 4.15, we can have $432 billion. The budget of this state this year is actually 149 billion. From sesame seed, an arable crop that can mature in 3 months plus, this state can generate money it needs. If you remove the cost of farming, the cost of export, and all other costs, this state can still generate 343 billion plus the IGR 351 billion. This state is literally generating ×2 of its budget just from the export of sesame seed. How can the state make this work? The state partner with its private sector in an agreed ratio. State provide fund while the partner provide expertise. The SPV form farmer into cooperative across the state, issue purchase order backed by a guarantee from the government. SPV provide inputs, support farmers and train them. Provide a collection center to collect the harvest, clean the product, bag it, source for buyer abroad, do documentation and shipment, SPV prevent document to buyer's bank for payment, SPV pay farmer share their farmer and share the balance with their partner, and the state can use its own part of the money for development. This is what we are proposing for governors of Nigeria. The impact of suggested model for state government goes beyond generation of revenue via export. It has humongous impact on employment generation and increased economic activity in the state. This, in my opinion, is a more effective, efficient, and enduring model for diversifying the economy of any state in Nigeria. And of course, this model can be replicated by federal government at the federal level, especially for the exportation of minerals. We'll go on a short break. When we return, we'll round up.
Are you thinking about to maximize export opportunities in Africa under the AfCFTA? Are you looking for where to get a detailed export market information for almost all African countries? Are you looking for the item of import in different African countries and the value of imports done by different countries? Then visit the African Trade Intelligence Platform via the globaltradetutor.com. You can have access to all this information every month for just $20 only. For more information, call this number or send an email to the email address below.
So today we did Taraba. Next week, we will be doing Zamfara. Yobe, and upper week Zamfara. And by the end of the month, we'll be doing a summary of all we have discussed in this episode in the last in the last 38 weeks, actually, 38 weeks, because we have 2 sessions on introduction. That'll be 38, almost 40 weeks discussing potential of export in Nigeria and talking about different states in Nigeria and what they are capable of exporting. If you are here to get the book Built to Go Global, it basically educates individuals on why export business fails and what you can do to ensure that your export business does not fail. You can get this video on our YouTube channel, Voice of African Trade. Subscribe, like, share, drop your comment, and click on the notification bell to know when we post a new video. You can also get a link to this program on the Export Business platform. And that is on African Export Business platform, and that is on Telegram.
Are you a retiree? Are you an employee looking forward to retirement? Are you an agro-processor, a farmer, and a manufacturer of different items in Nigeria? Do you desire to earn foreign exchange in euro, dollars, and pounds? Are you interested in expanding your market beyond the shore of Nigeria? Are you looking for how to start doing export business? Do you have an order and looking for how to go about exporting your product abroad? Then I have great news for you. Greater Impex Trade Academy, in conjunction with American Institute of Extended Studies, brings to you from export novice to export legend. This is an export mentoring program that helps you step by step until you achieve your goal of doing a successful and sustainable export business. New enrollment is currently ongoing. The program costs $1,250 and there are flexible payment plans to fit your budget. Enroll today.
Are you a professional or a businessman? Do you desire to earn dollars, euros, or pounds? Have you thought of taking your business to the world? Does it look like a daunting task? You desire to know what you need to do to get ready to go global? Do you know that there is a science behind making your product or service to go global in a successful and sustainable manner? To learn more about it, get a copy of the book titled Built to Go Global. It's a scientifically proven, tested, and trusted template for building a successful and sustainable export business. To pre-order at 53% discount, call 080-912-44449. Are you an account officer, relationship manager, or marketer in a bank? Are you struggling to meet your income and deposit targets? Are you on the verge of losing your job for non-performance? You desire a change for the better in your career? Then register for the Certified Global Trade Management Professional from the American Institute of Extended Studies to acquire skills needed to solve import-export trade customers' problems and consequently attract the deposit and income of the transaction to your bank. Registration is currently ongoing. Call this number to register today. Are you thinking about to maximize export opportunities in Africa under the AfCFTA? Are you looking for where to get a detailed export market information for almost all African countries? Are you looking for the item of import in different African countries and the value of import done by different countries? Then visit the African Trade Intelligence Platform via the globaltradetutor.com. You can have access to all this information every month for just $20 only. For more information, call this number or send an email to the email address below.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. See you next week and have a wonderful weekend. And bye-bye. Okay, someone is saying, hi, Bamidele, you have spoken about Kano already. Is there any way I can get a copy of that? We have access to, yes, of course, we have done Kano. Miriam, what you can do is visit Voice of African Trade. Visit Voice of African Trade. You can also reach out to us on our website, 3thimpexglobal.com, or you call the number 009-124-4449, 009-124-4449, and you will get the link to that. But it's on our YouTube channel. I'm sure if you go to Voice of African Trade, you will be able to find it on our YouTube channel. Thank you very much. See you next week as we move to to Yobe State.